chairs with me, Cheer Up Charlie. And today we have the amazing, the wonderful. She was part of the original cast of Les Mis. She's done Emmerdale, she's done EastEnders, she's done Coronation Street, and so much more. If I told you if I had to list every theatre job that she's ever done, or movie or anything that she's ever done in my intro would be longer than the interview. She's the amazing Siân Reeves, everybody!
Hello, Charlie. What an amazing introduction. Thank you for having me on your brilliant show.
Thank you very much for being here. So, what age did you discover you loved to perform?
Oh, that's easy. So I started dancing school when I was 2.
Wow.
I had a big sister and she went, and I had my first solo age 4. And it was just at the, they'd given me 3 minutes in the finale. They were doing a Pearly King and Queen finale. And I got to do this little number called My Old Man Says Follow the Van. And I got dressed up as a little old lady. Mum had got me this long skirt and a little shawl and a brooch. And I'd rehearsed and I'd rehearsed. It was the Lytton School of Dance in Wolverhampton. And I started chatting to somebody in the lift before I was about to go on, and I missed my entrance and I missed doing my solo. And I just ran onto the stage at the end and threw myself off the end of the stage into my mum's arms. Luckily she was there, and then I knew never to chat anymore, and that I really wanted to have more solos, and I had to stop talking.
So, did you have a really supportive family growing up who were from the arts, or were they like mine and knew nothing but were still supportive?
Oh yeah, mum and dad not involved in the performing world at all, and I'm half Welsh, and my grandpa could sing, so he used to say that I could sing a bit like him, and but they didn't want me to come to London at all. I saw the show. It was a bit like, I suppose, Britain's Got Talent. It was called Opportunity Knocks when I was a little girl, and there was a girl on it called Lena Zavaroni, and I wanted to be like her. And I kept saying, I want to go to stage school. I want to go to something. It was called Italia Conti, which we obviously still know now.
Yeah.
And mum and dad were like, no, still got to do your exams. You've still got to do A levels. I've got to learn to type. That was something I had to do. And then at 18, after my A levels, and much trying to get into, I tried to get into one place, and I managed to get a discretionary award, and we only got the money through the day before I started. And dad sort of conned me into this accommodation at the YWCA in the Barbican and said, oh, she's already booked, and I hadn't. And he said, we're on our way, and we were all so nervous, and I was starting on the Monday, so everybody travelled down with me on the Sunday, and they got me in to this YMCA in the Barbican, and I stayed there for a bit, and I started this musical theatre course at Arts Educational in 1980. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I was about to ask you, where did you do your formal training? But I guess we already know.
Well, I only did a year. It was a 3-year course. And I had no, I didn't come from much money. So I had a job at the Palace Theatre behind the bar there. And I had no money. I had no money at all. And I saw this advert in the stage for Les Mis. And they were looking for a young girl to play Cosette in this book called Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. And so I queued up at the Astoria, and you weren't meant to. You were meant to be a 3rd-year student to audition. But I was thinking, I'm perfect for this part. I'm really right. And I had 4 auditions, and the guy, I didn't say anything at school. I just snuck off for these auditions. And then the guy who was the MD at the Palace Theatre, where I worked behind the bar, who now is a friend, Steve Edis, is a musical director, is amazing. He came up to me and said, I've heard you've got a recall for this amazing new musical that the RSC are doing. I think you should stand on the stage and have a go at this song. Do you want me to help you? And I had to sing Heart Full of Love. And I was like, oh, yes, please, yes, please. And by then, everyone at the theatre knew that the girl behind the bar had got a 4/3 call for Les Mis. And he helped me learn the song, and he had, you know, getting that confidence to stand on the stage and sing it was incredible. I saw him once. It was Not a Heart Full of Love, her solo at the time. And yeah, and then I got it, and they were all cross with me at Arts Ed, you know, because I shouldn't have auditioned. But I got understudied that then took over Cosette whilst Rebecca was at Glyndebourne. And then I carried on doing college and Les Mis for the first term, which killed me off. It was exhausting. Then everyone decided that I should leave college and that perhaps I've got a good job. And of course I've got a good job. So yeah, it was quite weird, the whole thing. But
awesome.
Fabulous.
So what prompted you to go on the show Just the Two of Us, which you actually went on to win with the famous Russell Watson after Rick Astley did not show up for rehearsals with you? Did he know what he was missing?
This was quite interesting because I hadn't sung for years and years, and I was really quite nervous. But Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up, gave me up because he was nervous. And he said to me, Sian, I'm just too nervous, I'm not going to do it. Because we had to learn a song every day and perform. So learn a song, perform, chuck it. Learn a song, perform, chuck it. It wasn't every week like Strictly. It was every day. And I remember sort of passing out in my chair with fear and vocal soreness. I was chucking strawberries down my throat because, you know, it's a muscle, isn't it? And you have to exercise that muscle as a singer.
Mm-hmm.
And I, you know, we were doing all these different styles, and Lulu was on the board, and Stuart Copeland, that amazing drummer, and Trevor Nielsen, that brilliant DJ. And then they got Russell in, and Russell wouldn't sing any of the songs that I'd learned. Like they give you a list. This is what you're going to try and do, and so you've got them in your head. That's what and he said no. So I had to like. He then came in late, and then we had to. We didn't get on at all either, me and Russell, to start with. In the end, we just loved each other, and he was great. But I think he was, you know, it's quite a high-profile thing to be exposed on with someone who's really not that good, you know. So they don't want you to show them up, and we didn't by each other either in the after the show thing when they did the chat, and they were like, you have to sit next to each other, and we were like, you know, I was cross with him for changing everything and making it all to suit him, which of course I understand, you know, because he is, you know, a pop opera singer, isn't he? But yeah, he was great in the end, and we won it. Can you believe it?
I know, it's so amazing, so amazing. So you've had some rather impressive roles, including the original cast of Les Mis, EastEnders, casting it Emmerdale, Mount Pleasant, and most recently the cobbles of Coronation Street. But which one has stood out to you? And why do you always seem to portray mean people, even getting nominated for Villain of the Year?
That's my only mean character was Sally Spode. Everybody else, I play kind of, I seem to play these northern kind of really stupid, kind of vulnerable girls. Although I've just been filming this thing, an Agatha Raisin. Have you seen any of those? Agatha Raisin with Ashley Jensen in it, who was in Extras, you know, Ricky Gervais, and she was also in Ugly Betty. But I was playing a Welsh woman, and because I'm half Welsh, it was the first time I was playing a Welsh girl ever in 36 years. But I don't know. You just don't know what you're going to be cast as. But I seem to be, that Villain of the Year was Ace. She did great, Sally Spode. Everyone hated it. I used to have to wear a wig to travel on the train because at night I'd be traveling really late to get home to my daughter and stuff, and people had come up to me drunk and go, I don't like what you're doing. Don't like what you're doing to Ashley. What are you doing to Ashley? You know, they were so protective of Ashley and Laurel. So that was great. But that's the only meanie, really. Everyone else, their cutting was fantastic. I loved Sydney, and she was great. And Bianca and Mount Pleasant, she was really kind and nice. George Sampson was my son in that. Do you dance as well?
I do dance. Now, because I'm half deaf, not many people know that I'm half deaf. And so I can't hear things like beat and rhythm. So I struggle with dancing a lot, but I do dance, yes.
So which would you say? So is singing your big thing, or acting maybe?
I love singing. Singing's my favorite, but I also love acting. Acting's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, musical theatre now, the triple threat of musical theatre is pretty fierce. I mean, when in my time, it wasn't like that. You did a little bit of singing, a little bit of acting, and a little bit of moving. You know, it just what it is, like Wicked and stuff. It wasn't like that at all. And really, Les Mis was made up of actors who could sing.
Yeah.
Really. That's what made it so amazing, because people were just hitting the notes. They were proper good actors, you know. We did have Colin Wilkinson, who was a proper singer, and who's proper singer, but she's a brilliant actress as well.
Yeah. So what's your most memorable moment to date? You must have so many, but does one really stand out to you?
Oh my God, I've been a very lucky girl. I have had so many wonderful chances. I really have. But I reckon probably going on as Cosette was terrifying, because I was 19, and Rebecca, who was playing the role, had gone to do this season at Glyndebourne, and they'd made me my own dress, and they'd made me my own wedding dress and everything. So it was probably my part for like 5 months when she was away, and we did a razor and everything. And I remember like going down for the bow with Francis Ruffelle and Michael Ball for that, and I remember just thinking, wow, because we'd all just run down, the three of us, and then Colin and Patty would come down, and I just thought, wow, because it was so high as well, the Palace Theatre.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really also enjoyed playing a part called Zoe in A Land of Plenty, which was 10 episodes for BBC Two, and I played like 18 to 43 years old, and so I loved going through all the years and creating all the different looks for that we did. So that was also a fab role.
That sounds cool. I've just announced my first West End concert. And #Charlie is growing on a weekly basis, and the people I can now reach is growing all the time. But it still makes me sad that it happened, and that people still have to support children like me who struggle daily with such negativity and stigma due to what we love to do. And that, I know, comes from learned behavior. Now, how do you think we can overcome such negativity?
I think individually, if you have loving parents or any support that can help you, you have to have people around you. I always say, as long as you've got a good home and a good core, you can get through problems like this, which will happen. You know, it happened to me recently on a job, bullying. And, you know, I'm 55, and I think it comes from a weakness in the other person.
Yeah.
They are threatened by you. They're threatened by something you do. They're threatened by your joy, your light. That's hard to hold on to when you're feeling low. It really is, and why you don't understand why it's happened. But I don't think you can wipe it out. It's human nature to be fearful. It's human nature to be jealous of people, and actually it does make you stronger, and it's stronger, and it has made you achieve this which you wouldn't have achieved before. You would have done this if it hadn't have happened to you, and I wouldn't have got to certain places if I hadn't you know, I used to have my hair pulled and my dresses ripped at school and stuff, because if there's something about you that makes you slightly different, people don't like it. The masses don't like it. And I think it does ultimately make us bigger and kinder people, and it will make us better people. But it continues to happen. And I couldn't believe it when it happened to me recently on a job. I was like gobsmacked. I was like, how has this happened? And I'm this old, and I'm a mother, and I have a house and a dog and a partner. How can this happen? You know, again, and I've let it happen. And I saw it happening, coming from a white, you know, I was like, why is that person being like that? I don't know how we wipe it. I don't think we can wipe it out. I think it, hopefully, you know, it just will make those people who twinkle a little bit more brightly, it'll hopefully make us stronger and learn more things. And you just have to, you will get resilient and stronger and push through. I don't know how we can do anything. I really don't.
Yeah. So if you could give yourself some advice to a child, knowing what you know now as an adult, what would it be? And would you actually listen to it?
Probably not. I don't think so, because you just don't think it's going to happen to you, really, do you? My daughter doesn't listen to me, and I've got great advice for her, and she's an actress, and she doesn't listen to me, and I'm like, wow, you so should have listened to that. So to listen to yourself, I just don't think we would have. And that's what comes from making these mistakes, doesn't it? We will all make mistakes, and we'll all have things, you know, the more bad things that happen to you, actually, the better person you become, because it makes you think more, and it makes you understand and love and care and respect people more.
Yeah. So so now for some funny questions.
Okay.
So what role would you most like to play, regardless of gender, animal, age, or era, or what duet, or who would you most like to work with? Because mine's a duet with Neil Sedaka and Miley Cyrus, followed by lunch with William Shakespeare.
Oh, that's a nice dream, isn't it? Lunch with William Shakespeare. Oh, because I'm very much like, I've just got this while I was cramming for this audition. I'd really like, because it's prevalent in my mind, I'd really like to get this job that I've gone up for, which is obviously top secret. But let me think, if it was super, I would love to sing a song with Freddie Mercury.
That would be cool.
That would be cool, to stand on stage with him going, we will rock you. That would be ace.
That would be really cool.
And then, so like a literary side, I always loved John Betjeman poems, and I would love to hear him and talk about his poetry, actually, or William Auden. I like poetry, and I don't do much with it. So it would be nice to meet, if you could go back in time and talk to somebody like that.
Yeah.
That would be, or Noel Coward.
Yeah.
Tea with Noel Coward. That would be quite.
That would be very cool. That would be very, very cool. So, which fictional character do you think is most like you? I think I'm Ron Weasley with a splash of Dumbledore.
Ah! Oh my goodness. Who do I think I am, or who would I like to be?
Who do you think you're most like?
Who do I think I'm most like? Well, if we're thinking, I'm now on Harry Potter. I don't think I'm like Hermione. She's too clever. It have to be someone a bit funny. Help me out. Who's a bit funny?
Well, the funniest, most like silly character in Harry Potter is probably Neville Longbottom.
I could be a bit of Neville with a splash of I'll be a bit of him with a splash of Hermione. It just gives me a few.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what do you most get in trouble for off your partner?
Oh, perhaps overthinking and overdoing. Like, well, just stop and let's have a rest. Cuddling the dog too much, I get in trouble for. Trying to help Bessie, my daughter, too much, get in trouble for that because she's like, Mom, I'm my own person. Making terrible meals. I'm not a very good cook.
So, have you ever tripped over or done anything really embarrassing at something like a red carpet event or on stage or on a movie set or?
I'm quite sensible, you know, Charlie. Other people have played tricks on me, and I don't laugh or anything. I'm like quite serious. So like I know I seem to be like quite chatty and fun, but actually when it comes to my work, I'm really like a boring old so-and-so.
So, what's your most disgusting habit? And now, no saying you're perfect, because most of you ladies are the worst.
Nibbling my nails. I think that's disgusting. I was a little girl and my dad used to give me 5 pence a nail to grow, and I still struggle with it. So I think that's a bad habit because it doesn't look like doing that. Yeah.
No. Especially because if you like bite or pick your nails, they generally become really uneven.
Yeah, they used to look awful. They don't look that great now either. But I used to have all these false ones on for cutting it as well, which has kind of rotted them. Are you a nail biter?
No, I'm not, and I'm not a nail picker either. Whereas my brother bites his nails.
What's your most disgusting habit?
A lot of the time I like to eat food with my fingers.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah.
No matter what it is, I will a lot of the time always get told off for just like what like if I've got, let's say, a spaghetti bolognese microwave meal and I've got it just in a I've not poured it out into a plate and a piece of spaghetti drops into the plate, I'll just
pick it up. Oh, bad boy.
So favorite so now for some quick fire questions.
Okay.
Favorite place to holiday?
Oh, Greece.
Chocolate or Haribo?
Haribo.
Text or talk?
Oh, talk.
Heels or flats?
Heels.
Last song downloaded.
What does that mean? Say that again.
So the last song you downloaded or the last song you listened to?
Well, Michael Jackson, because I just love him. I think he's a genius.
Yeah. I went to watch Thriller and that was amazing.
Oh, I mean the music is. I haven't seen that. Is it still on?
No. 6 has replaced it at the theatre, and I don't think it's coming back after 6 goes back to its theatre.
Yeah. Oh God. He was a musical genius of his time. He really was. Yeah. So I just downloaded his whole album. Was it One Before Bad? It was great. And also I like Lionel Richie. I've been listening to him a lot, which is really old-fashioned.
Hey, one of my favorite artists is Neil Sedaka. So
yeah. So you've got good taste.
Neil Sedaka, and it's weird. Now I don't like Miley Cyrus's music as much. However, I really love Hannah Montana.
Yes. Now we used to watch Hannah Montana when Bessie was younger, and she was great in that. And she's obviously gone like a bit wayward and stuff now, hasn't she? But she was great in Hannah Montana. If you can keep someone in that a time, she would be great in that time, wouldn't she?
Yeah, because I've watched it all, and apparently they're releasing another series of it.
Really?
Apparently so. I've seen the ad for it.
Ooh,
But
ooh.
apparently that's happening.
You know what you'd be good in? Something like Glee, if they did Glee again. Did you watch it?
I've watched a little bit of Glee because it's my mum's favourite programme, one of my mum's favourites.
Yeah, I love her. The woman who plays the gym mistress in that, who's a bit nasty to them. I love her. I'd love to go to her, actually. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, or tea with the whole cast of Friends would be good fun, but not how they are now, how they were.
Favourite musical?
Oh. Do you know, I'm going to say Carousel because I played the daughter in that, who had the big ballet in Act 2, and it was my first part that I played for Wolverhampton Musical Comedy Company, and because I did lots of dancing before I would just dance 4 times a week. I was crazy bonkers about it. I had this whole dream ballet, and I got a review in the Wolverhampton Express and Star saying Siân Reeves, which is my real name, was amazing as Louise in Carousel. And I love all the music from Carousel. It's so evocative and emotive.
Awesome. Superpower.
What superpower would I like to have?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'd love to be able to cook. Is that a superpower?
You can just make freshly cooked and amazing food appear out of thin air.
Yeah, and that it would be really good for everybody, and everyone would like it, and it'd be really healthy and cheeky things too. Now that would be amazing to go. Pizza, which isn't healthy.
But you could make it like I don't know if you've seen it's a Christmas movie on Netflix, The Christmas Chronicles, and basically what they do is they snap up it's all dessert, and it tastes like dessert, and it tastes amazing, and it tastes all sweet, and it tastes like dessert. But actually, if you were to eat a giant cupcake, it'd actually be a giant carrot, but it would taste and look like dessert.
Wow, that would be genius, wouldn't it?
That would be a good superpower to have.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that.
Because you could literally just eat sweets and actually you'd be eating vegetables.
Yeah. I've just thought of my most embarrassing thing, which is, not many people know this, but I love, like you've mentioned that film, I love watching Hallmark films, those American Hallmark films about Christmas movies and everyone falling in love and being in sweet shops and riding with ponies in little lovely carriages. So that's my most embarrassing. What did you say?
Same with Mum. Mum loves that.
Really? I love those Ever After movies. I'm just, and nobody knows that actually. And I've just been binge watching this thing called oh my God, it's about a girl with a horse. It's a girl, and they've done 14 seasons of it on Netflix, and she's got long blonde hair, and I'm just watching the hell out of it. It's fantastic. Oh, what's it called? Heartland. And my fella's like, oh, you are not watching this.
So, first celebrity crush.
Oh my God. Oh, it's got to be George Michael for me.
Ooh. Childhood book.
Favorite book, did you say?
Childhood book.
A childhood book. Oh, Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, Harry Potter house.
Oh, which is my favorite house of? What do you have to remind me of the names?
There's
you mean the name?
There's Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Gryffindor, and Slytherin.
Oh, it's got to be Gryffindor.
Awesome. So that's the end of the quickfire questions. So moving on to the final, yet most random question of the entire interview.
This has been a very good interview. You've made a lot of them random, if you ask me.
Yes, but this has nothing to do with anything. This question is literally, would you rather have no phone for 30 days or never eat dessert again?
I'd have no phone for 30 days.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of an obvious unless you're like don't like candy and you don't like pastries, and you don't like cake and you don't like custard. Unless you don't like all that,
then you'd be okay.
Because if you had no dessert for 30 days, then you'd never be able to just like go and get an ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it'd be quite a bit of a break not to have my phone 30 days, because they're quite annoying sometimes.
Thank you so much for doing this, Sian. It was a pleasure and an honour interviewing you. And I can't wait to see you one day in person.
Yes, well, let's maybe I can come to this show or something you're doing, the Actors Church. I'll see what date it is. But
awesome.
Thank you for asking me, and I've had a lovely time meeting you. I knew I would. And I'll see you soon, Mr. Charlie Farley.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sian. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, what an amazing interview. If you want to see more interviews like that, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Ding, ding, ding. It'd be really cool if you went and followed my other platforms, my Instagram if you're not already following that, my Twitter, my Facebook, and obviously we want to get this to 10k, and we're near the magic 10k on Instagram. Okay, so remember, keep being kind to yourself and others, and keep letting your light shine. Bye.